Hello students, welcome to Darasa Online. We continue with our revision on commerce subject. My name is Mtinga Kengera, a commerce teacher. Our revision today will focus on the topic import trade. Our subtopic will be sources of information on goods and services to be imported. Import trade is the buying and selling of goods and services from or to other countries. So countries or different countries do import goods and services in order to be satisfied to have those goods which such countries are not producing. So a country cannot be self-sufficient. So a country needs to import from other countries. Because countries differ in terms of technology, countries differ in terms of productivity, and countries differ in terms of natural resources. So a country is importing in order to have those goods in which it can't produce or in which it produces in less amounts. So importation is very, very important to a country, as this enables a country to have various goods, others being which are not produced in such a country, and others being those goods which are produced in less amounts. In our country, we depend more on importation because with the level of technology a country is having, a country is not producing a lot of goods and other services. Therefore, a country is in need of import trade because we depend much on goods from other countries. And this has been contributed by the lack of technology we are facing as a country. So importation to us is something we cannot avoid. In this subtopic, we are going to know different sources of information, but also know the types of information needed. So under this subtopic, we will cover the following areas. Our revision will focus mainly on these areas. We will focus on the types of information needed by importers, sources of information on goods to be imported, and also the role played by TANTRADE or Tanzania Trade Development Authority. So my dear students, importation can be done either in a direct way or in indirect way. By direct importation, we mean that goods are imported without the use of middlemen. Under this, an importer himself imports goods from various countries. There is no use of middlemen in this type of importation. So the importer imports in his own name, do all the procedures, do each and everything to make sure that goods are coming from those countries to the country. So under this, importers are doing each and everything. This type of importation has got some advantages. Advantage number one is direct importation reduces the cost of importation. Therefore, importer can sell at low price. When importers are importing by themselves, it means they are not paying those middlemen. As a result, these importers will sell their goods at low price. So this is an advantage to importers, but also to final consumer, because we'll be paying low price for those goods which are imported direct by importers. Advantage number two is it enables the importer himself to be familiar with the market condition. Therefore, importation can be done efficiently. In direct importation, importer becomes familiar with the market condition. He knows what is taking place in the market. He will know the prices of those goods abroad. And therefore, the importer, under this situation, he will act according to the market. So he knows the demand and the supply of the market. So under this scenario, the importer will be comfortable with the market. He'll be selling according to the need of the market. So when he go abroad to buy goods, he knows which goods are in a fashion for the time being. So he'll be buying according to the market condition. And therefore this will help this importer to go with the real market situation. So these are the main two advantages of direct importation. But also this has got some disadvantages. When you import by yourself, you may face the following disadvantages. One is importation may be done inefficiently as the importer may not be professional. You know, sometimes these middlemen are professional. But you importer, you may be importing, but you'll be lacking. You may be lacking some qualifications in importation. So you may be doing importation in an efficient way. You may not be doing importation in its base level. So because you'll be lacking some knowledge, or you'll be not aware with the procedures of importation, so this may be difficult to you as an importer, especially for those importers who have not been for a market for so long. They may face such a problem. Another problem is importer become very busy engaging in both importing and selling. When you'll be importing by yourself as an importer, here it means you'll be very, very busy. You are importing and then you are selling. So you become very busy doing both importation and selling. So when you do all these two, sometimes you may be doing one of these two in inefficient way. So it's better you specialize in selling and you give these to those middlemen, and you'll be paying them some commission. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of direct importation. Now let's come to indirect importation. Now with indirect importation here, we mean the importation using middlemen. So you use middlemen as agents to help you or to do on behalf of you, and then you will be paying them commission. Now these middlemen are professional. They have been specialized in importation, and therefore they know this activity or this work very, very well. So when you use them, the following are the advantage. Number one, normally the middlemen are professional. As I've said before, they are professional. They know what they are doing. They have been in this business for so long. They have qualifications on doing this. Another advantage is middlemen can perform other marketing tasks like advertising or repacking. Sometimes middlemen perform other functions or other activities. They can help you doing these activities, like they can advertise your products, or they can repack those goods which are imported by them. So they help you as an importer. But also, indirect importation has got some disadvantages. Now, one of the disadvantages is costs. When you use middlemen, you're paying some money to these people as their commission. So you have to pay them. They are not doing this for free. So you have to pay. And these costs you are paying, they will add cost to your business. As a businessman, you have to compensate this by raising a price on your goods imported. And therefore, prices on your goods will rise. And this will affect your customers. And also, it can affect demand for your goods. Another disadvantage is the original importer may not become familiar with import procedures and formalities. When you are using middlemen, you as an importer or an importer may not become familiar with the formalities and procedures which are taking place in the international market or in the world market. And therefore, it becomes as an obstacle to you as an importer. When you need to import, it will not be easy for you because you know nothing of the procedures to import goods from other countries. So, my dear students, we have revised on types of importation. We have direct importation and we have indirect importation. Both of them have got advantages and disadvantages. Therefore, either you use direct importation, it's okay. Now you just weigh out the advantages and disadvantages of each method you may need to use. A question of interest here is, what are the advantages? Or you may be asked to explain the advantages and disadvantages of either direct importation or indirect importation. So what you need here, you need to understand. Either you're importing goods in a direct way or using direct importation, or when you are importing goods using indirect importation. All of these methods need relevant information. So you need to know the types of information you need in order to import. Either you are using direct importation or you are those middlemen. Those middlemen you're using may need information. So information in importation are very, very important to both direct importers or indirect importation. So in this session, we have explanation on different information needed by importers. Because without having this information, importers may get problems on how to trade effectively in this trade. So what are the types of information needed by importers? There are basic information which are needed by these importers. Without this information, they can be in trouble or they can get problems, or they may not sometimes operate in an effective way. So my dear students, there are different information in this word, but there are those basic information which are needed by importers. Now what are these information? Now these information are as follows. Number one is importers should know about technological changes. Now my students, the world is changing. The world's technology is changing day to day. So in this, an importer should know exactly the changes of technology. You know, sometimes technology do change in a rapid way. So if you are not aware with the change in technology, you may be importing goods which have been outdated. So you know, people in this world come with different knowledge, with different technology. And at this, when technology has changed, so make sure as an importer, you have that knowledge, you have that information. Because you may be importing goods which have been outdated. So you must go with technology. Import goods which are modern technology. Number two is, importers must know a different culture of people in different countries. You know, there are different countries in the world, and as an importer, you must know different culture of different people in different countries. Sometimes as an importer, you may be to import or to go in a certain country. So you need to know the culture of that country. For example, if you are going to Arabic countries, they have their own culture of dressing. So as an importer, you should know exactly the culture of those countries, so that when you go there, you can be in a way those people will be comfortable. For example, in those Arabic countries, the way of dressing. So as an importer, when you go there, make sure you dress in the way that you won't get problems with those people. Because in those Arabic countries, they consider much in the way of dressing. So in order to enjoy or to be comfortable with your trade when you are in those countries, make sure you dress proper so that they can accept you without any problem. Another information which is needed by an importer is exchange rates. You must understand, or you must make a follow-up on exchange rates of different countries, because when you buy from other countries, you want to use your local currency. You need to have foreign exchange. And therefore, an importer should make sure that he is aware with different exchange rates. For example, if you are importing from America, make sure you know the exchange rate of US dollar with your T shillings, so that you can know that with the money you have, what amount are you going to get in US dollar. Or if you're going to import in South Africa, also you must know the rate in which you can exchange your T shillings with South African currency. Another information importer needs is weather condition of different countries. Before you import or you go in those countries, you must understand the weather condition for that particular time. Sometimes you may go in a country and you find it's winter or it's summer. So this one may affect you either in a negative way or in a positive way. For example, those people who are coming from tropical countries, when you go to Europe and you find it's winter, that condition may have a problem to you who is not familiar with that condition. Another important information you need as an importer is import and export formalities of different countries. Each country has got its own import and export formalities. So you as an importer or any importer should know or should make a follow-up and understand import and export formalities of those countries. In order to be comfortable as an importer, sometimes you may be in a certain country and the formalities are different from your country. So after understanding that, it will make you comfortable to import goods without having any problem. So these are the types of information which are needed by importers. So importers should find out to know technological changes, to know culture of people in different countries, exchange rates, weather condition of different countries, and import and export formalities of different countries. When you know this as an importer, then you'll be very, very comfortable on importing without getting obstacles or problems in the process of importing. So after having this explanation on information needed by importers, now let's have a look on the sources of information importers need So importers can get information from various sources. So as a student, you should know these sources. There are different sources whereby importers can go and get information. Now, source number one is Tanzania Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture. Now, this is an association of different people from different sectors, for example, from commerce, industry, and agriculture. Now here we have traders, we have people in industry like engineers, and also we have people from agriculture like farmers. Now all these people have this association. Now members in this Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture get information from this. You know, this has leadership, and leaders collect various information, and therefore any businessman or any trader who is in need to import goods from other countries can go there and get this information. Number 2 is foreign firms representative in the country. Different companies or firms have their representative in different countries. So you as an importer or an importer may get those information from these people who are found in importer's country. So when you want to import from China, you may find different companies from China having their representative in our country. So just go there, you get those information. Number 2 is international trade fairs. Now this is a place where importers can get different information. For example, during the recent trade fair, in this, different people from different countries or producers from different countries are there, and when you want different information, you may meet these people and you may ask them any information you are in need. Another source of information is consular services. You know, our country has different consular offices in different countries. So an importer, being a Tanzanian, when he or she need of a certain information, can ask it from those offices which have been located in those countries you want to import goods. So just make a communication and then you get those information, because our consular offices are there and have different information relating to trade. Another source is visiting various websites as well as reading newspapers, journals, publication, etc. So when you need to import from a certain country, you can have information on goods to be imported from visiting various websites. Different countries or companies are exposing their goods for sale in different websites. So when you need a certain information, you can get there. Also, you can just read newspapers or journals. Now from there, you can get information you need as an importer. Another source is Tanzania Trade Development Authority. This is very, very important source where importers can get information. Now, TanTrade has been formed as a ZAT, or from, we used to call Board of Internal Trade and Board of External Trade. So TanTrade started operation in the year 2010, and this was formed in order to accommodate or to deal with both internal and external trade. Now before this, there was Board of Internal Trade and Board of External Trade. Now these two were dealing, Board of Internal Trade was basically or mainly dealing with internal trade, and then after that, Board of External Trade was dealing with external trade. But the main advantage which TanTrade has is dealing with both internal and external trade. So when you need any information about importation or importing goods from other countries, you just go TanTrade. There you can be provided with the useful information for those goods you want to import. So you need any issue concerning a certain country you want to import, then you can get relevant information from TanTrade. So my dear students, these are the main sources of information to an importer. So any importer need to import goods from other countries and you are not aware where you can get information. Now these are the basic sources of information. Now after having these sources of information, now let's have a look on TanTrade. What are the main functions performed by turn trade? As I've said before, turn trade is dealing with both internal and external trade. So just to remind you, board of external trade is not existing, board of internal trade is not existing. So when you're asked to explain the sources of information, do not mention board of internal trade or board of external trade. Now these two have been replaced by turn trade. So turn trade is now working or doing those functions which were previously performed by board of internal trade and board of external trade. Now turn trade is performing all those functions. Now what are the main roles or function performed by turn trade? Number one is trade information service. Turn trade collects different information and organize those information and then can distribute those information. So any person who is in need of information concerning trade, being internal trade or external trade, you just go there, you get those information. So importers or exporters may get information from turn trade. Another function performed by turn trade is capacity building and SMEs development. Turn trade build capacity to small and medium enterprises as well as to different companies. So this is conducted in the way of giving training to those small entrepreneurs and also giving advice to those companies which are in need of such advice. Another function performed by turn trade is promoting of Tanzania goods and services. So turn trade has been promoting Tanzania trade in different ways. Now the best way which is used by turn trade is through exhibition and trade fair. So it has been organizing different exhibition and trade fair so that our trade is promoted internally and in external markets. Another trade by turn trade is product and market development. So turn trade has been developing products in the way of adding value of those products. Now, instead of exporting goods without packing those goods, turn trades have been trying to advise or trying to pack those goods to give them good package so that they can add value to those goods. You know, when you pack your goods, you add value to such products. But also market development in the way of finding or searching markets for home products or home produced goods. Another function or another role played by turn trade is regulating of all foreign trade fairs and exhibition in the country. So turn trade is making sure that our trade fairs and exhibition in the country are conducted in the standard way to meet those standards which international market is looking for. So it regulates the exhibitions and trade fairs so that it can meet international standards. Another function is trade policy and facilitation. So turn trade do advise the government about certain policies which do favor trade in the country. Has been giving advice to the government in order to create good environment to traders. And the last one is branding of Tanzania goods and services. So TAN trade makes sure that our goods which are exported have been branded to give uniqueness, to give them names, so that they will be known with the word market that these goods are coming from Tanzania, or these goods have been produced in Tanzania. So TAN trade performs these functions. TAN trade has been developing trade in our country in the way that our trade now is operated in the level in which is standard. After this explanation, let's have a short break. After that, we will come for questions. Yeah, welcome back, my dear students, for this session where we'll be passing through different questions. Now, question number 1 here is, as you can see here, before importing goods and services from different countries, importers may need to get information from different sources. Explain different types of information needed by importers. So this question asks that importers, before importing goods from different countries, needs different information. Now the question here is, you need to explain those type of information needed by importers. So from the explanation I have explained before, so the question here is clear. So you have to provide those information. Now what are those information? So you have to explain those information, those type of information needed by importers. So I think you remember, information like technological changes, information like exchange rates, information like culture of different people. So those are the information which are needed by importers before they import goods. So this question is simple. You just understand. You may be given explanation or scenarios, but what you need to understand is get the concept. So the question is all about types of information needed by importers. These are just explanation. So here is simple. Just explain the types of information needed. Question number 2. Now question number 2 is, international traders may need different information which will be helpful to them in conducting their trade. Identify different sources for such information. What are the sources of information? Now this is the best question. What are the sources of information? Now we have explained different sources. Let me remind you, most students have been mentioning Board of External Trade as a source of information. So my dear students, I insist on this. Do not mention, do not explain Board of External Trade as a source of information. Board of External Trade is not existing. Now Board of External Trade and Board of Internal Trade have been replaced by TAN trade. So mention all other sources we have mentioned, but do not include Board of External Trade or Board of Internal Trade. So the main sources of information are like Tanzania Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, TAN trade, and other sources which we have explained here. So do not include Board of Internal Trade or Board of External Trade in your explanation when you are answering this question. Question number 3 is, explain the relevance of import information to importers. Now this question needs you to explain the relevance or the significance or the importance of import information. So here you have to explain the relevance because you know the types of information needed. Now, what is the relevance of those information? So you should explain the importance of an importer to know a culture of a different country. So you should explain the importance of an importer to know the technological change which are taking place in the world. You should explain the weather condition. Why should an importer know the weather condition of different countries? So here you show the relevance. So for example, in culture, he should know different culture of different countries so that when he is importing or when he is going to those countries, he may be comfortable without facing some challenges. When you go in Arabic countries, you should dress proper so that when you meet people over there, you'll be comfortable and you won't get challenges from them. Or when you know the exchange rate of different countries, it will help you to decide in which country you will import, because your decision will be based on the exchange rate which may give you an advantage. Or when you know a technological change, it will help you to import goods which are of modern technology. Because sometimes you may import goods which have been outdated and it will be difficult for you to trade those goods in the market. So my dear students, questions may be asked in different ways. So what you need here is just to understand. Another question is, Tanzania Trade Development Authority, TanTrade, has become a solution for both internal and external trade. Justify this statement by elaborating the roles played by TanTrade. The question here is trying to show the TanTrade as a solution for both internal and external trade. As I said that before TanTrade, there was Board of External Trade. And before this, there was Board of Internal Trade. Board of Internal Trade was dealing with internal trade specifically. And Board of External Trade was dealing with external trade. But TanTrade is dealing with both internal trade and external trade. So TanTrade accommodates all problems being internal trade and external trade. So that's why the question is giving those explanation that has become a solution for both internal and external trade. Because TanTrade is dealing with those internal trade and external trade. And therefore, you should show or you should explain the role performed by TanTrade to justify this statement that TanTrade has or is the solution for both internal and external trade. So here you have to explain. And in your introduction, you should show that there was internal trade, which was dealing with internal. There was Board of Internal Trade, which was dealing with internal trade. But also there was Board of External Trade, which was dealing with external trade. But TanTrade performed all functions being internal functions and external functions of trade, and therefore is a solution or has become a solution for both internal trade and external trade. So through explaining those laws, you will see how turn trade is a solution. Now here, just explain the role played by turn trade. You know, different roles played by turn trade as we have explained before. So explain those roles, you'll be answering this question. But in your introduction, remember, you have to explain on board of internal trade, which is not existing, but you should show that there was a board of internal trade, but also you should explain, just to show that there was a board of external trade. But all those which were played by board of internal trade has been or is now performed by turn trade. And those laws which were played by board of external trade is now performed by turn trade. So it's a solution for both internal trade and external trade. And after that good introduction, now you have to explain those laws played by turn trade to justify the statements above. So after having this explanation on this question, hope you have enjoyed this program, and I welcome you to the next lesson where we'll be explaining or we'll be revising on procedures on importation. Thank you. Have a good time. Meet you next lesson.